Okay. Do you want me to cancel this out?
I'm just sharing my screen, so you can just cancel those things. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Not yet.
Notepad?
Ajit, I'm not able to see.
Notepad?
No. But still it is not visible.
What does it say?
Yeah, it is gone. Yeah, fine.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, why have I written it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. If there are, let's say, 50 people working in the company, do you think all 50 of them need same level of access? Yes or no?
No, not really. No.
AJ, what do you think? 50 people working in this company, all 50 of them need same access?
No.
Okay.
There would be like user level access, administrative access, etc., etc.
Right. Then, okay. So when we're talking about access, I mean different levels of access. So we need to control the access at all the levels, right? For some people, we might want to control the access for records that they can see. For some people, I want to control the access for the fields that they get to see. Let's say in my account field, account revenue is a field which is very important, which is very critical to my business, and I don't want people at a lower level to see that, people at an entry level to see that account revenue. For example, right? So sometimes you might want to restrict access for a field. Sometimes you might want to restrict access for a record, certain records from certain users. Sometimes you need to restrict access from the complete object. For some users, you don't want them to see opportunity table at all. You don't want them to see opportunities at all. Okay. For some users, we would want to restrict access for application. Okay. For some, we would want to restrict access for the tabs that they get to see. So all these things need to be defined in Salesforce, right? That who will get to see what all access has been allowed to whom, and that ways, right? So how does that work? Let us talk about that part. How does this controlling of access work? Okay. So first thing that we have to understand is a profile. Now what is profile? Profile is a collection of permissions. Okay. So see, if I have to give access to 50 people, and if I have to go and do it individually for each one of them, it becomes very a difficult thing for an administrator. So for each user, I go individually assign the access, limitations, and all those things becomes very difficult, right? So rather, what we can do, we can put the permissions in profile and assign the profile to the user, right? So as I said, 50 users will not have same access. All 50 do not need a unique kind of access also, right? Let's say 10 people need similar kind of access. So what I can do is I can create a profile for them. Let's say all people who need access to the marketing. I create a profile for them. I put all the permissions which is required for marketing team and give that profile to all the users. Got that? So profile is basically a collection of permissions, right? All the permissions are put into a profile, and then that profile is assigned to a user. Got that? That's a packaged thing. You put all the permissions, user permissions in the profile, and then assign the profile. Based on the profile, a user will have those permissions available, right? So let's see this. If you go to setup and then if you go to manage users, or if you just go to your personal information, if you just see your personal information, what you will see that there is a profile which has been given to you. Every user has a profile. See, what is the profile which has been given to you? System administrator. Now the system administrator, as I said, is basically a collection of permissions. So this way you can have a marketing user profile, you can have a sales user profile, you can have a senior management profile, that is, right? So all the permissions are controlled on the profile. Where do we get to see the profiles? Go to setup, click on manage users, and under manage users there is this thing called profile. So if you go to setup manage users profiles, you will see that there's a long list of profiles which appear there. Okay, there's a long queue of profiles which appears here. The standard profiles, the custom profiles. Standard profiles, see, out of these profiles, a few profiles are Salesforce standard profiles. You cannot edit them. Okay, you can just make small changes, but you cannot edit them. Some are custom profiles. So these custom profiles can be completely edited. Okay. Moreover, we have the option of creating new profile as per our requirement. Okay. So a profile is basically collection of permissions. So all these profile hold certain permissions. Now, when we create a user in Salesforce, we need to assign one of these profile to that user. Based on what profile has been assigned to that user will have the permissions which are allowed on that profile. Got it? It's simple. Is there a question on that? Okay. So let's click on this thing. Salesforce, let's say we were talking about the system administrator profile, right? So if I click on this profile, it will show me what all permissions have been allowed to this profile. Okay. So right now my profile here is of a system administrator and I have so many apps available here. This is the application drop down. There are so many applications which are available here. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to let's say I just want to restrict a few applications from system administrator. I just want the system administrator to see these two apps, sales and call center. So what we need to do, we just need to go to the system administrator profile, click on the edit, click on edit button on the profile, and once you click on edit, it will give you the option of selecting what all apps you want for the system administrator to be available. So I say that remove all these things. So all the controlling will be done through profile. So in the profile, what I have done, I have removed all the applications. I've just kept a sales application and a call center application for the system administrator profile. Okay, save it. Now the moment it is saved, you see only these two applications. Initially we were able to see a long list of applications, right? So this is all controlling which an administrator basically does for the users, right? You want to control certain applications for some user, you want to control certain objects for them, you want to control the tabs, whatever you want to control, you can control it from here. Fine, that's clear. Let me know if there is a question or a doubt on that.
No. No.
Okay. So that is there. Now, out of all the tabs which are visible here, okay, this also depends on the profile that the user has. So what all tabs have been allowed to the user. So if you just click on the profile edit, just below these apps, you will find the tab settings also. So what all tabs are available, that also can be chosen from here. So if you don't want certain tabs to be available to that profile user, you should turn that off, or you should say tab hidden, hide the tab, or make it off. Okay. So if you remove that, then that tab will not be available to that person. Okay. Now, so in profile, we can control the apps which are available to the user. We can control the tabs which are available to the user. Tab means these buttons or these tabs which we see here, right? All these tabs. Okay. Now, there is one more thing that you might want to restrict the users to. That is the tables of the data table. A tab is just a button in the front end, right? But sometimes you might want to restrict the user to look into the database table. Let's say you don't want certain users to see the accounts table at all. Okay, let's say you're creating a profile for your HR people. So there is an HR team in your company, and you're creating a profile for them, and you don't want them to look into your accounts data. Okay, so for them, what you have to do, you have to go and restrict the table or object permission as well. If you scroll down, you will see all the objects are listed here: account, campaign, cases. Okay, and we have the option of restricting permission on this as well. Okay, we can restrict it to a read level, create, edit, delete. So if you don't give a delete access to the profile, the users who are using that profile cannot delete records. So sometimes we need to do that, right? Sometimes we don't want to give a delete access to everyone. Sometimes we don't want to give a create access to everyone. So you can restrict that, or you can remove the entire thing. If you do not give a read access also, then they will not even be able to see any data in that object. Tell me, is that clear?
Yeah.
Can even we create some custom this profile and assign to the user?
Assign to the
User.
Yeah. So because let us understand this way. So Salesforce has created a few profiles and given it to us, but that does not mean that I always have to work with those profiles, because those are the standard set of profiles, but I always might need a custom profile. My requirement can be different from what Salesforce is asking, what Salesforce is providing. So profile, we always have an option of creating, and then we can restrict the users through that. So you can create custom profiles, and you can give your type of access to that profile, and then assign that to the user. So under profiles, if you would have seen, there is a new profile option which is already available. It's there, right? So yeah, that can be done. That is not a challenge. Tell me, is it clear so far now? Any questions on this? So profile basically is a collection of permissions Okay, that is what we understand. And through what we do, we put all the permissions or all the accessibilities in the profile, and then we assign the profile to the user. Okay. So what we have seen today we have tried